The prodigal prince returns. After months of speculation, rumors, and endless tabloid headlines, Prince Harry has finally set foot on royal soil once again. The world has been watching, waiting, and wondering if the rift between Harry and his father, King Charles, could ever be healed. Today, we're diving deep into the details of this highly anticipated reunion, a moment that's been years in the making and one that could change the course of royal history. Prince Harry and King Charles just had their first proper chat in over a year. That's right. After months of icy silence, missed birthdays, and public snubs, the father and son finally sat down for a real conversation. For royal watchers, this is the equivalent of a solar eclipse, rare, dramatic, and impossible to ignore. Did the royal tea get spilled? Let's find out. Because when it comes to the House of Windsor, every meeting, every handshake, and every cup of tea is loaded with centuries of tradition, and let's be honest, a fair bit of family drama. Okay, let's set the scene. Picture this. The grand gates of Buckingham Palace. The imposing stone walls, the echo of footsteps in empty corridors. For nearly 2 years, those halls have been missing one very familiar face. The tension has been thick enough to cut with the ceremonial sword. It's been 19 months since Harry and Charles had a real face-to-face. That's over a year and a half of missed opportunities, growing misunderstandings, and a media circus that never seems to leave the royal family alone. In that time, the world has changed. The monarchy has faced new challenges, and the gap between father and son has only seemed to widen. The last time? A super brief visit when Charles was first diagnosed with cancer. Awkward and short, like a royal Snapchat. Harry flew in, spent barely half an hour with his father, and then was gone again, leaving more questions than answers. The encounter was so fleeting it left royal fans and commentators alike wondering if the wounds were simply too deep to heal. Since then, there's been drama, headlines, and some very public shade. Remember Harry's tell-all memoir and Oprah interview? Those bombshell revelations sent shockwaves through the monarchy, exposing old wounds and creating new ones. The world watched as Harry and Meghan aired their grievances, and the royal family responded with their trademark never complain, never explain approach. But behind palace doors, the tension was palpable. The fallout was immediate. Family gatherings became more strained, invitations were lost in the mail, and the press had a field day speculating about every frosty glance and awkward silence. For Harry, the decision to speak out was about honesty and healing. For Charles, it was a public relations nightmare and a deeply personal betrayal. But now, during Harry's charity trip to the UK, his team and Charles's crew finally coordinated schedules, like royal calendar Tetris. It wasn't easy. Behind the scenes, royal aides worked overtime, shuffling events, clearing security, and making sure the meeting could happen without a media frenzy. Every detail was scrutinized, from the time of day to the choice of tea. Fast forward to Clarence House, where Harry rolls up in a black Range Rover for an hour-long tea with the king. The setting was private, away from the prying eyes of the press, but the significance was impossible to hide. For the first time in what felt like forever, father and son were under the same roof, sharing a moment that could mark the beginning of a new chapter. What did they discuss? No one spilling the royal Earl Grey, but sources say there were smiles, handshakes, and maybe, just maybe, a hint of reconciliation. Some insiders claimed the conversation was warm, even emotional, with both men expressing a desire to move forward. Others say it was all about setting boundaries and clearing the air. Whatever the truth, it's clear that this meeting was a turning point. For Harry, this was more than just a family visit. It was a chance to reconnect with his roots, to show his father that despite everything, he still cares. For Charles, it was an opportunity to extend an olive branch, to remind his son that family comes first, even when the world is watching. Social media, of course, is losing its mind. Within minutes of the news breaking, #Royal Reunion was trending worldwide. Fans, critics, and royal experts all weighed in, dissecting every detail and speculating about what this could mean for the future of the monarchy. Memes, hot takes, the internet is awash with jokes about awkward family dinners, dramatic reunions, and the possibility of a new royal group chat. Some are hopeful, others are skeptical, but everyone agrees on one thing: this is the royal event of the year. The memes are hilarious, but the underlying sentiment is serious. People want to see this family heal. They want to believe that even the most famous families can overcome their differences, and in a world that often feels divided, the idea of reconciliation, no matter how tentative, is something worth celebrating. Wild guesses about what's next for the House of Windsor. Will Harry and Charles continue to rebuild their relationship? Will Meghan join future family gatherings? Could this be the first step toward a more modern, united monarchy? Or is this just a fleeting moment of peace before the next storm? Royal experts are already weighing in, offering their predictions and analysing every gesture. Some say this is a sign that the monarchy is evolving, learning to adapt to a changing world. Others warn that old wounds take time to heal, and that one meeting can't erase years of hurt. So is this a new chapter, or just a royal one-off? Only time will tell, but for now the world is watching, hoping, and maybe even daring to dream that the House of Windsor can find its way back to harmony. The story isn't over yet. In fact, it might just be getting interesting. Hit the comments with your predictions and don't forget to subscribe for more royal scoops. Whether you're Team Harry, Team Charles, or just here for the drama, we want to hear from you. What do you think really happened behind those palace doors? Is this the start of a royal reconciliation, or just another headline in the ongoing saga? Stay tuned, because when it comes to the royals, anything is possible. And we'll be here to spill the tea every step of the way.